Welcome to the Global Investor Podcast, a show that focuses on helping foreign investors enter the lucrative U.S. real estate market. Host Charles Carillo combines decades of real estate investing experience with a professional background in international banking to interview experts in all areas of U.S. real estate investing. Now, here's your host, Charles Carillo.
Welcome to another episode of the Global Investors Podcast. I'm your host, Charles Carillo. Today we have Eric Tran and Milica Krstic. Eric is the managing partner of Universal Commercial Capital, a private lender with 25 years of experience in real estate and private lending. He is a member of the American Association of Private Lenders, loves working with U.S. and international investors alike, brokers, realtors, and closing deals fast. Millie has a master's in political science and a journalist by profession. She works with Eric as a sales executive at Universal Commercial Capital and is originally from Serbia. So thank you very much for both of you being on the show today.
Thank you.
Hi, Charles.
So I wanted to get a little background before. I know when Eric has 25 years of experience with working with private lending, and I wanted to get a little professional background for both of you before starting the work with Universal Commercial Capital. So Millie.
Well, I am a journalist by profession. I used to work as a journalist, and now I'm in a real estate business with Eric and Universal Commercial Capital. It's a great opportunity for me to learn new things, to work with very interesting people, and just to open myself to new experiences.
Oh, great. And Eric, what was your professional experience before starting Universal Commercial Capital?
Well, Charles, this is the first time I talk about myself, so I don't know where to start. But I've been in the real estate financing for over 25 years. Work mainly in the private lending sector. Private lending means whatever loans the bank decline, we come in. And we structure a lot of deals, either commercial, residential, construction, new build construction. That's our forte.
Okay, great. And your firm focuses a lot on financing for U.S. real estate for foreign investors. And what percentage of do you do a lot more international investors, or is it a lot more U.S. investors that you guys work with?
Actually, we do about 30% of our volume for international investors. But for international investor, we usually do a bigger deal. They come here, they buy property over $1 million, $2 million. This morning, I was working on the deal in LA for $10 million.
Oh, wow.
But volume-wise, it's about 30% of our business.
Okay. So it's a pretty sizable portion of what you guys do. That's great. And so it's usually larger deals, and it's not like smaller properties. Are they doing new construction at all, or is it just already built, say, commercial properties, commercial multifamily?
Both.
Yeah.
New construction, residential property. In a sense, we do both.
Nice. Okay, great. For an international investor that comes to you guys to work with you, and I know Millie's more on the sales side of this, what is normally required from the borrower to be approved for one of these loans? Of course, in addition to your down payment, like
Right.
Documents, entity, stuff like that.
Yeah. Chow, when you talk about international borrower, what does it mean? Does it mean they are from a foreign country? Do they have social security number? No. Do they have tax return? No. So what we require is nothing except the down payment. And what we want to see is the down payment has to be in the U.S. banking institution for 2 months. Mm-hmm. If it's in the banking institution for 2 months, we don't even ask about the source of the money. So all we ask for is the down payment plus the closing cost, 2 months in the bank, in the U.S. or a legit banking institution from other countries. We are okay too.
Wow. So it's very easy to work with you guys. That's great. Now, do a lot of your foreign investors have U.S. entities set up to invest, or do they usually do it through their own name?
70% would set up an LLC, an entity. to put the loan under 30% still use their own name. Normally, people that use their own name, that their own personal property, not investment. For investment property, commercial, they always set up a LLC or a special purpose entity to handle.
Okay, great. That's awesome. Now, do you guys service all 50 states?
We do like almost all 50 states, except we don't do Oregon, we don't do Arizona, and we don't do Nevada, because those 3 states require you to have a physical location in the state in order to originate any real estate loan.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. And what type of terms do you see? Like, so for that loan you were working on today, that was $10 million. And what kind of normal terms do you see on something like that? Is it, how long is it usually amortized over? And how does that kind of, that financing term work on that?
You know what? We treat our foreign national customer the same as U.S. citizens. So whatever we offer to people in here, we offer to international borrower. No difference. 30 years amortization. For like investor, sometimes they don't need that long an amortization. They just need to get in, do something with the property, sell it for the profit. So we offer the 1 year, 3 years, or 5-year term to those people. But like whoever looking for like long-term financing, we can always offer a 30 years amortization, the same as everyone else in this country.
That's great. And the down payment is normally, what amount do you usually see, say, for if they're coming in to buy multifamily, 5+ commercial properties, 5 units plus commercial properties? What do you usually see for a down payment required for that?
You know what? Yeah, we see a lot of advertisement like up to 80% loan to value, only 20% down. But to be on the safe side for commercial, I would say at least 35% down. Yeah. But it all depends on the state, on the rental income, because we base our loan amount mainly on the rental income. But I rarely see anything over 70% LTV, just because the rental income is not there to support the loan amount.
Yeah, but that's what you would get for a U.S. person being with a social security number and everything, investing and going to a regular bank anyway. So that's great, and to be able to do it without having the social, no credit history, and no U.S. tax returns. I mean, it makes it so easy to work with investors. What are the locations that are for international investors coming in, like states, do you see most that you have that are interested in investing in?
You know what? For international investors, there are regions: Asia, South America, Europe. Asian, mainly California, just because the flying distance is closest. For like South American, mainly Brazilian or European, mainly England, German, Florida. New York is a state, but more so on Florida. Florida is very popular with South American and European.
Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah, they're coming in here in droves to buy property. So if a new investor comes to you guys, they reach out and wherever they're located, say they're in Europe, and what is the first steps that you take with that new investor, potential new investor, new borrower, to get them ready to purchase a property?
Okay, like I say, all we need from them is a down payment. So first thing we ask is, where's the down payment? In a European bank, in a US bank. And that's the first thing we ask. And if they say their money is in the Europe or Asia bank, we say, do you have any problem transferring the money to the US banking institution? And second question we always ask is this your first time, second time investing in the US? Because a lot of time, we base our approval decision on the borrower experiences. Somebody from Asia, China, or from Brazil who come in here and buy a 20-unit apartment, we always ask, do you have any experiences running an apartment? If they don't, might be a problem. So those are the questions we talk to our client upfront in the beginning. I have one client from China, who come in here, who want to borrow 15 mil for a construction loan to build a multi-family apartment. I asked him, do you have any experiences doing this thing in the US? He said, no, but I hired the best general contractor in the country to build it for me. And I asked him, if you don't have any experience in the US, do you think you can manage and supervise that general contractor to do a good job for you? So mainly we ask about their money, their liquidity, and their experience doing what they plan to do in the US real estate market.
Oh, that makes perfect perfect sense. What mistakes do you see when you have new investors that come in, and what do you see that could be a problem that other, they've come in, if it's lack of experience, if it's lack of reserves, and the lack of capitalization, like you were just saying, that might be lack of experience on that buyer that want to, or the builder that want to build a $15 million complex. So what do you see for mistakes normally from foreign investors coming into the States?
The mistake is, you know what, they use their experiences in their own country, and they think it will be the same in the US. But a lot of time things can be different. Europe can be different from the US can be different from Asia. So their thinking is more or less with like their own country. But in the US, things can be different. So that's where the mistake coming from.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
That's
secondly,
great.
secondly, another mistake is since foreign investor, they don't have that much experience in the country. So they tend to like overpay for the property. And that's when we come in, and a lot of foreign investors, they come to us not because they need a loan, but we to them more or less like an insurance. We are their first line of defense. Do I get this property with the right price? We determine for them because our money is on the line too. So a lot of our clients, they come to us not as a lender, not to have a loan, but more or less for the insurance policy, for like any exposure, either valuation or legal exposures. That's what I see.
Yeah, that makes sense, because it's always people always say, well, I had a great deal, but I couldn't get it financed. Well, you didn't have a great deal then. You know what I mean? So it's great to always pass it by an underwriter, and then they can put it through their process, and they're probably going to be, hopefully they'll most likely be a little bit more conservative than you are, and make sure that, hey, you have the liquidity after you close, the reserves, you have a team in place that can actually manage this, because you have no experience, or you're 12 time zones away or something. I mean, you're just not going to be able to have the hands on. So
normally we want to save like a 12-month reserve in the bank. And experience, we want them to hire a professional management company.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have that boots on the ground so they can handle any type of issues that might happen. So are you able to assist your foreign investors with putting them in line with parts of their team, CPA, an attorney, stuff like that?
Yes, we always have a team with us, because tax attorney, property management, realtor, real estate agent, we have not a team, but a network that we work together.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And so you guys are based in Europe, Vietnam, Brazil, China, Philippines, India. I mean, you guys are in a number of different markets. Is this where you consistently get business from? A lot of investors coming from those areas to actively invest in the United States?
Right. Those countries is where we got our business, but the biggest market is still China, and coming up strongly, Brazil, India, and Vietnam.
Okay.
But China has been a major player in the foreign investor market in the US.
When you speak to new investors, and obviously it differs between how much money someone has that's investing, but what is their normal goal, other than, is it capital preservation as the main goal when they come to the United States, or is it mainly returns? What do you usually hear from your investors?
capital preservation, safe place, to park their money. Because people from China, from Vietnam, from Brazil, at that level, normally the return is better and higher than their own country. But not the European. In Europe, the return in the US is better. So from Asia, from South America, it's more so on the capital preservation side. But Europe, they come to the US just because the yield is higher. The return is higher.
Yeah. I definitely see that. It's very, very expensive in a lot of those areas, and there's not much. The cap rates are so compressed.
Right.
Now, you guys, everything's funded by private investors. Is that correct? Your whole firm is private investors. Is that correct?
Correct. All private investor.
Okay, that's great.
Some small family office.
Okay. Oh, okay. So you have investors. You actually entertain investors to come in that might want to just be on the debt part of the real estate transaction and not really on the equity investing part. You can invite those investors in just to loan money on other projects.
Right. We do like 80% on the debt part, but 20% sometimes, we bring the investor in also as an equity partner.
Oh.
But like we are mainly a debt player on the capital stack.
Okay. Now, if you guys want to explain a little bit more about Universal Commercial Capital. I know we went through a lot of foreign. And you guys have tons of resources on your website with webinars. If you guys want to explain more about how that works and what services you can provide and information on your website before we list all that stuff down in the notes of the YouTube and podcast.
Milita, do you want to answer this question or do you want me to?
Yes, I want to answer on this question, where on our website you can see all kind of loans that you can get from us. We have a commercial loan, hard money loan, fix and flip loan. You also can see there what are the terms, and you can see our contacts, so you can contact us for any additional information. But our website is very good, and there you can just see who we are and what Universal Commercial Capital is offering to you.
Okay, well, that's great. Yeah, what I will do is I will put all that information in the bottom of the podcast notes and then also in the bottom of the YouTube video notes, and then people can reach out to you. And if they have any questions or want to move forward, then we'll have them go. And it's universalcommercialcapital.com, correct?
Yes.
Great.
Okay.
Thank you, Chad.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate you guys coming on. It's great. I know Eric's leaving, flying internationally tonight, so it's great that I got you beforehand. And I look forward to connecting with you guys soon in the future.
Right. And before we hang up, Milita, why don't you say a few words to Chao and to our audiences?
Well, I want to invite everybody who's interested in the real estate business to visit our website. Also, you can find us on LinkedIn and Bigger Pockets platform. Any information you need, just don't hesitate to ask, because we are very open to work with you, and you will like the terms. I'm sure you will like the terms.
Okay. Thank you, Peter. Thank you, Charles.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you, Charles, and I'm looking forward to talk to you again.
Yes, we'll definitely connect in the future, and we'll get all that information put in the bottom of the notes. And if there's any other questions, people can reach out to you directly.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Have
Bye.
a nice day.
You too.
Thank you for listening to the Global Investor Podcast. If you like the show, be sure to subscribe on iTunes or Google Play to get new weekly episodes. For more resources and to receive our newsletter, please visit globalinvestorpodcast.com. And don't forget to join us next week for another episode.
Nothing in this episode should be considered specific, personal, or professional advice. Any investment opportunities mentioned on this podcast are limited to accredited investors. Any investments will only be made with proper disclosure, subscription documentation, and are subject to all applicable laws. Please consult an appropriate tax, legal, real estate, financial, or business professional for individualized advice. Opinions of guests are their own. Information is not guaranteed. All investment strategies have the potential for profit or loss. The host is operating on behalf of Harborside Partners Incorporated exclusively.